What you cradling there, dude?
Oh,
Something
yeah.
special, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
We're looking at the Tom Green Canadian Moonshine Maple Bacon Moonshine, folks.
That's right.
But that's not the only thing that I attribute to Tom Green. There are other things that he might have accomplished in his life.
He has. He's near and dear to us because he literally grew up near and dear to us. Local boy Tom Green made it big, and he's back in town, and we're going to talk about that tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be talking Tom Green. Watch this. We'll see you soon. Just like he said, I'm repeating it right now. So watch this again, and we'll see you right after that. Right now, a good video. You'll enjoy this video. Go and watch this musical. Okay, just go watch it.
Guys talking, saying anything, nothing new to say, talking anyway, stop yammering, can't hear a thing, nothing I can do, so let's have one more brew, one more brew, let's have one more brew, one more brew. Stop talking, try listening, try anything, try whistling. There you go again, saying anything, nothing I can do. So let's have one more brew. One more brew. Let's have one more brew. One more brew.
And you'll enjoy this video. I can't believe it. What?
They've seen it. They've seen it.
Fine, whatever.
That's dude.
That's dude.
And welcome to Lazyboys Night. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I actually had a little beer sploosh while we were doing that.
It's always okay for a sploosh.
No, because it's on my pants, and I gotta suck on my pants to get the beer flavor. That didn't sound right.
I don't put up name of your sex tape. Don't.
Too late. He did it, didn't he?
Yes, just not name of your sex tape.
All right. What are we drinking here, by the way? It's the Vimy Stout. It's pretty simple. Vimy Stout by Vimy Brewing Company.
Is it from who?
Vimy.
And what kind of beer is it?
It's a stout.
Is it a Vimy Stout?
It's a Vimy Stout.
Oh, we're having a Vimy Stout from Vimy.
You like to repeat a lot tonight, don't you?
I do.
You like to repeat a lot.
I do.
You're redundant.
I am.
You like to repeat yourself.
I do.
You say the same thing over and over again.
I do.
All right, that's enough of that bit. All right. Cheers,
Cheers.
dude.
Good job, Vimy.
That's a good stout.
That's a proper stout.
It's a proper stout. It's what you expect from a stout. Yeah.
You know what? You know what's missing in this stout? As a beer, nothing. But something that's definitely missing is a little Irish dip.
Oh.
Do you know what an Irish dip might be, folks?
Please tell our friends what an Irish dip is.
A wee little Irish dip into a little stout is when you take an Irish whiskey, instead of dropping it and calling it unpolitically or politically incorrect.
Politically incorrect.
What? Why do you have to say stuff like that? That's politically incorrect.
Because it's politically correct to say politically incorrect.
So they usually call it an Irish car bomb, right? So you take a shot of whiskey and you drop it in.
But the Irish not active anymore, so.
No, exactly. So.
Or are they?
So what happens is usually your shot goes at the bottom and you're drinking it and you're not getting the proper mix, right? So at the end you got to watch your teeth. Because if you had a few,
slide up,
yeah, it's still coming towards you really fast. Because the idea is you're supposed to chug the whole thing. Instead of chugging, we're offering this. This is a Lazyboys, the more you know. Right? So you take that same shot, throw it in, put the shot glass aside. You don't need the shot glass anymore. You have to just remove it to the side.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you have a proper mix. But you can enjoy your stout without having to pound it back. I know that's the proper I wish. Dude, give me another.
How many have you had, dude? All right.
It's a proper Irish stout, okay?
So enough about Irish.
That's an Irish dip. All right. So if you want to go for an Irish dip, just take your shot of your preferred Irish whiskey.
I prefer a skinny dip myself. Ooh.
Oh.
Not in winter though. That's kind of.
That's what we're talking about, folks, tonight.
No, we're not.
Kinky he said.
Tonight, we're talking about the legendary Tom Green.
Hell yeah, to Tom Green.
Now, if you've been a fan of this show since the very start, you'll notice from time to time we've referenced him. And like we said in the intro, he is near and dear to our heart because he grew up here in the Hollywood Hills.
Yes.
The Canadian Hollywood Hills.
Oddly enough, he moved from the actual Hollywood Hills to the Canadian.
He moved to Hollywood, and then he's back now.
He's back in the Hollywood Hills, the Canadian Hollywood Hills.
So a little background story. He came back to this area about, what, 3.5 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. He bought a farm out in a rural area. I'm not going to give it out.
We're not going to tell you. We know exactly because we're stalkers like that, but we're not going to tell you.
We're not stalkers like that.
Like I'm trying to wink, but yeah, we're not stalkers.
But
we're fans.
We are fans. Have been since the very start, and we just like to pay a tribute to local boy. Made it big, and then came home, and is still making it big. He's all over right now. He's got all sorts of Netflix specials and all sorts of other things.
He's on Prime.
Oh, Prime.
Yeah,
sorry.
Doesn't have anything on Flick. Here's the thing, folks.
My apologies.
We've noticed how much Tom Green is making a massive comeback since he's been back, right? And we figured, why not? Let's just have another show where we're actually talking about Tom Green. So this is not the Tom Green Show.
It's not the Green Tom Show.
It's not the Green Tom Show. It's
Lazyboys Show.
Lazyboys, the Tom Green Show. You know, talking about Tom Green and all that fun stuff, eh?
And I'm just gonna throw this out there. We've sent out this invitation before, but Tom, if you're ever watching, we have what is probably the last sealed bottle of Tom Green's Canadian Moonshine Maple Bacon, and we would love to have you on the show, drink a bit of this, and just talk.
Even though when we met in person, remember that night? I'm sure you do, Tom. How can you forget us? Your fans that wait till the very end of your show,
smoking cigars in the parking lot.
Go outside, have a little stogie, and But your advice to us was, guys, don't keep the bottle because I'll never have it with you. That's never gonna happen. I'm not gonna drink that bottle with you. Because you're what's the word I'm looking for? What did he call us again? We're insignificant?
Did he
say
that?
No, he didn't say that.
I was like, what?
I'm joking.
He wasn't rude.
Remember when Tom Green said, you're insignificant in my world?
He did not say
that. No, he didn't say that.
What he did say, though, is that you should drink it.
Drink it now. Hurry up.
Drink it.
Before I see you at the next show and you still have the goddamn bottle with you. Drink it now so I know you can stop stalking me. So he literally told us to have it. And we're in the car, we're driving back after the show and going, that's not going to happen, Tom. We're not drinking it. We're not drinking it till we drink it with you. So this whole show was going to be our invitation, and it's a documentary without having documentary footage, just us talking because we don't have the budget. Not like you do, but we have our minute little budget. But it's kind of a documentary of us with Tom Green in our lives, the introduction, and how we followed through.
So how were you first introduced to Tom Green? Not as a person, but as a celebrity. He was big before we ever met him.
Yeah, exactly.
Although you've come across him several times, and we'll get to those stories.
Will we?
What was he first to you?
Will we? Okay, so my very first introduction was a friend of ours told me about this guy on public access in the Hollywood Hills.
Back then, it's Rogers Cable Television, the local channel, Rogers 22.
So, Dude and I, if you've been watching the show long enough, you're aware that we've been in entertainment one way or another, or pretty much since we've known each other.
Yes.
We've always found ways of staying in the industry, even though we've never really made it at the big, mansion. We're happy with the Dude Den, but beyond that...
And the Tavernac.
The Tavernac is a huge deal. So, and the outside. We always have the outside. The outside is a big deal too.
We own the outside.
But my first introduction to him, when I was told, when he to watch his show, when the show starts off, I still remember this, the very, very first time that I ever saw Tom Green. He's in the Bywood Market in downtown Hollywood Hills, also known as Ottawa, but we try to stay away from that so you guys don't know
we're
where
not
we
political.
are.
Yeah.
We don't want to have our own fans, stalkers, So
we want the fans, just not the stalkers.
Exactly. He's on a rooftop. He's got a bullhorn, And everybody that's walking by, he's singing a song about what they're dressed in, what they're wearing. So you can imagine the first thing I see is like, girl in the blue dress, girl in the blue dress. The girl in the blue dress, she's walking down the street in her blue dress. I don't know if that's the actual skit, but I'm just pretending.
Yes.
But the whole thing, and it's like, this is insane. This is absolutely insane, and I love this so much.
Well,
because there was nothing.
He's fearless.
Nothing like that ever.
Yeah. My first introduction to him was actually even before the show. When I was a teenager, I worked in back then, they still existed, a music store. There was a chain store called Music World.
So you go in the store and download at the store?
No. You would buy CDs, and back then we still had tapes.
So you would download on the tapes?
No, you'd get the physical media.
Physical media,
Physical media. And before he had his show, he was part of he had a rap album with a couple other people. I believe they were called Organized Rhyme.
It was Organized Rhyme.
It was Organized Rhyme.
And they were nominated for a Juno.
Juno is the Canadian version of a Grammy.
Yes, so Tom Green, in his pre-TV show, he had a rap group, and they were actually nominated.
So in the record store, it's like, hey, these are local guys.
Yeah.
So let's promote the crap out of it. And so we had Organized Rhyme, and then not long afterwards, then I found out this rapper guy now has a show on public access cable that was filmed at the Arts Court in downtown Ottawa.
And we know it well because we spent a lot of time there as well.
Yeah, actually, I was there today.
There we go. See, we still spent time there.
But so when I found out he had this show, I was checking it out, and I gotta say, this is the influence the Tom Green Show had on us. If you've seen sometimes some of our challenges we've had in the past as a penalty, the bug zapper. Well, he had his bug zapper on a show, and with his I'm sorry, I forget the sidekick's name. He had his, Glenn. Thank you.
Yep.
Johnny Carson had Ed McMahon.
Yeah, Glenn.
So he had Glenn, and he would often zap Glenn with the bug zapper.
Oh man, he treated him horribly.
Yeah. But this was a guy who had this weird talk show at the Arts Court, and there'd be video segments of him doing stuff outside.
The funny thing is
and he'd do all sorts of outrageous stunts, and he was fearless.
But you imagine he started as a rapper to get to the Junos, first of all, because there wasn't a lot of rap, and back in the day, you're talking about two white dudes rapping.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s.
Right, so this was, I have a strong feeling that Eminem was actually inspired by him to a point where, dude, I don't know how much we can play of it, or just put down the actual lyrics. Eminem actually refers to Tom Green in one of his songs, whereas talking about how he's been, when he first came out with his albums, parents were trying to boycott his albums. But he was in one of his songs, man, I can't remember which song, but he refers to Tom Green, goes, so Tom Green can hump a moose. See, and how is that okay, but I can't sing my lyrics and all that stuff.
Is that like a Slim Shady one, or I don't know?
Possibly. Dude, do your job,
but
did it well, you see it before we do, but that's a reference.
Tom did it first.
He actually influenced Eminem, man.
There you
that's
go.
Huge.
That is huge.
He's always been and that's one of the things, if you look at his entire career, everything he's ever done, it's not that he was ahead of the curve. He created the curve.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people that followed suit, you can name everything that he's ever done in his career. Everything. There's somebody that picked up and made it. He's the Betamax of entertainment. Sorry, Tom, I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, but you are the Betamax of
See, most people wound up with using VHS, but Betamax was superior and had come out first, but it was exclusive.
So everybody tried to copy that.
But it comes down to, and I've already said it twice, and I'm going to say it the third time, he was fearless. Most comedians, because you know that little voice you have inside your head that says, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah. I don't think Tom has that voice.
No, the little voice would be go ahead, do that right now.
And he was like, to be honest, it reminds me a little bit of Andy Kaufman. In the sense, Andy Kaufman would just do something that was completely unexpected. You're like, what? What the hell? who does this? And Tom did the same thing. He'd go out and he'd do things, and you're like, who does this? And that was the whole point. Nobody did what Tom did. He didn't do what Andy Kaufman did. He didn't copy. He would go
outside the box.
Outside the box, do his own thing, and that little voice that says people don't do this. He didn't have that little voice when he was on, and he was just whatever could get a reaction. Boom.
So, as I was saying, when we're talking about the fact that everything you're saying is that he's a reactionary comedian, like his whole shtick, everything he was doing was to
get a reaction,
but an uncomfortable reaction, any reaction. And he was doing stuff that most people, like I said, we've been doing this for a long time. But he was willing to go way beyond. Like if there's a line drawn in the comedic
he's so far that you can't even see him.
Exactly. He's like that old joke. If you're like in the prairies, your dog ran away. You saw him ran away for 3 days. Well, that's Tom Green. He was ran away. You could see him for 3 days beyond that line. He was unreal when it came to that. And it's unreal to me the fact that somebody that did. If you look back, folks, if you have a chance, go on Prime, because right now on Prime, he's got his stand-up comedic special. He's got an actual autobiography that he created himself. He's got his own
autobiography.
But he did it himself. It's not somebody else that produced it.
And that's why it's autobiography. Otherwise, it'd just be a biography.
Yeah, but if you're doing a movie and you're doing autobiography...
Auto means you are doing it yourself. If someone else does it, then it's a biography.
So even in a movie, is that a popular thing?
Yeah, it's auto. What? If you produce your own biographical film, it's still an autobiography. That's what auto means.
Right now, stop the video. You've learned more than you should today. It's a proper therapy. It's a proper therapy Thursday. If you learned this much so far, don't even bother. Stop it, go do whatever, and then come back to us tomorrow on Friday and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hold your head high, feeling you learned.
So, thanks for educating me.
You're welcome.
So, in his autobiography that he has on Prime, and he has all this stuff, man. He's all over the place right now. And it's funny that it took Tom being in Hollywood for, I want to say 30 years. I don't know. 20?
I'd say 20.
20. Let's give him a comfortable 20 years in Hollywood. He is not. If you had him next to you anywhere in the States, he'd be known. Anywhere in Canada, he'd be known. Like he's international. He's huge.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that people don't realize how much of an influence this guy was. But what I was trying to get back to is the fact that he did the most ludicrous, idiotic, stupid shit that should. Like this person, for all intents and purposes, his career should have stopped when he was doing
the public access.
Public access. But
instead, MTV saw it and picked it up, and then he moved to the States.
People were watching it because nobody else was doing comedy like this, and people got it.
Let's talk about some of the crazy stunts he did.
Well, the fact that he moved to MTV, folks. If you look right now, a lot of you don't understand that at one point on TV. MTV was the shit. It was like the biggest thing on TV.
So MTV's been around, what, 40 years now?
At least.
So they gave us at least 12 years of music.
Yeah. and then the rest was Tom Green. And then Jackass.
But let's talk about some of the crazy stunts he did. One of the things, two things stand out for me, two particular stunts that I thought were just hilarious. And his poor parents. He would play a lot of pranks on his parents. There was one where he snuck in, I believe, a couple bagpipe players and some Highland dancers.
It was always during the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
He'd wake up his parents in the middle, like 3 or 4
o'clock in the morning. So his parents are sleeping, and he sneaks the Highland dancers and a couple.
They're not retired, by the way, folks. You have to understand.
Not back then. I'm sure they are now.
No, yeah. But I mean, during the show, they had to get up the next morning and actually go to work.
And so all of a sudden, the bagpipes start playing, and the dancers are doing their. And can you imagine, it's like 2 a.m., you're sound asleep, and you get woken up by bagpipes, you're like, what the f*** is going on? And there's these Highland dancers all around your bed. Yeah. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. Any other things? There's another one that stands out for me.
For me, it's like when he brought, there was an after-hours party that he brought to his parents' bedroom, and he had dancing girls. So girls dancing, and his dad was just in the bed going, this is nice. He's like, just super calm about it. Going, this is my crazy son. I got dancing girls in my room. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go to work. It's like, whatever, bring it on.
Me, the other one is he took his dad's car and he took it to an artist who does airbrush painting, and the guy airbrushed a very, very explicit, like full XXX rated
graphic
lesbian love scene on the hood of the car.
The slutmobile.
So his dad goes out that morning to get in the car and drive to work, and he sees this, and it's this is full on XXX lesbianism, and he's just like, so he starts to walk to the bus stop instead. So Tom jumps in the car and drives slowly along the sidewalk.
Why doesn't Daddy want to take the car to work?
Come on,
Daddy,
it's beautiful. They're in love. They're in love. It's a beautiful thing, and the dad.
There's like 12 people at the bus.
They're all waiting at the bus stop.
As he drives up with the car, I'm like, holy frick. Or he's super nice as to apologize to his parents.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry for everything I've been putting you through. Here's a fully paid weekend away. Enjoy your weekend. So while they're gone for the weekend, he paints the entire house plaid.
The house got painted plaid.
When his parents come back from their weekend, they show up and they're just looking at the house going,
the outside.
Really?
The outside is painted plaid.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
So that insanity gave him the opportunity to move to New York. So you got to imagine this guy. He's living in the Hollywood Hills, Ottawa. He's got a cable access show. Next thing you know, he's in New York on MTV, which
is the hottest commodity.
It's huge.
And next thing you know, he's married to Drew Barrymore.
Well, because of that show, that's how she was watching the show. When she was watching the show, she wanted, back then, they were producing, getting ready to film Charlie's Angels, the reboot. That's his first role, and because of that,
his first role was on Road Trip.
No. And then with that, that's because of that. You know, Tom Green actually asked Drew Barrymore out, and then they went out, and then that's what it was. They became a couple.
They became a couple. They got married. It didn't last, but apparently they're still good friends.
Yeah, but during the time, which is, again, is part of the history that people tend to forget, is that's when Tom got testicular cancer.
Testicular cancer, yes.
What did I say? Did I not say
testicular.
That's the French in me, man.
The testicular?
The testicule, man. So they were at the very beginning of their married relationship. Yeah. He gets cancer, and he decides, I remember this vividly, he decides to have a special.
I remember that,
right?
Because he did a song about it called Play With Your Balls.
Yeah.
Because he says you should verify, making sure. So he's got a whole song called Play With Your Balls about
I don't know if we can play it or not. Yeah. Probably not, but whatever.
I remember that.
So, dude, okay, caveat, anytime you can throw in clips, do it. If you can't, you can't, but whatever. But that whole episode, it was the first time that somebody first said, I have cancer. 2, this is what it is. Because for a guy, it's kind of embarrassing going, they're going to be removing one of my nuts.
Oh, yeah, he went full public with it. Oh, yeah.
And they showed the actual surgery and everything on TV.
He taped it, and he made it a full public thing.
But that was his last episode. After that, he was off MTV, man, because he was trying to recoup.
Isn't that when he then developed a friendship with Monica Lewinsky?
Close to. That was after his divorce.
After the divorce.
After the divorce, because that's when he decided to. That's when he was feeling better.
Yeah.
He was still in a lot of pain because he was like,
You lost the testicle, yeah.
The whole issue, but the cancer, the cancer ended up. You thought it was in his lymph nodes and the whole thing. But the thing,
scary.
He ended up at that point going, the big comeback. That was basically a comeback episode.
Yeah, Monica Lewinsky was everywhere. Bill Clinton.
And the whole premise was he had told his parents that they were engaged, and he was bringing Monica Lewinsky back to Ottawa, the Hollywood Hills. To meet the parents, so that his parents thought that they were meeting. They didn't say anything. His new bride to be,
yeah.
And then he showed up going, "This is Monica Lewinsky. Pleasure to meet you." But that whole thing, what's classy about Tom in that gag, was because Monica Lewinsky went through hell. She was on the news for all the most inappropriate reasons.
And she got bashed and
Oh my God,
bashed
poor
and
her.
bashed. Yeah, I feel
And
bad for her.
Tom did not use that.
No.
What he did a spin on it and made her look in that. If you ever can search it up, I don't know if it's available.
He made her in the public
And a
eye like
super
she's no
sweet
longer
person,
a pariah.
nice,
She
yeah.
became you saw the other
Human.
side of her, human, but with a sense of humor, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden people liked her again.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were just like,
that
you know
was
what?
Tom, man. That was his
Tom,
idea.
and
That's
people
how
were like,
awesome he
she
is
got a
with
raw
that.
deal.
Yeah.
Because Tom gave it a spin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely fantastic. On
You
that
know what?
side.
He was famous for doing a lot of spins. I remember one episode he had when he had his MTV show. He went to Roswell, New Mexico, and the local newscasters did a story on him, and they're thinking he's going to do something about aliens. But he got a reporter to actually go out with him in the desert. He was doing a story on snakes, and he's telling them that apparently the snakes react to vibrations, and if you like stomp on the ground and you like chant really low and all these things, the vibrations will drop the snakes. And he's got this reporter just acting like crazy out in the desert, trying to attract snakes.
See, reactionary
Oh, yeah.
again. So people watch
But
it.
off
It's
the
always
wall, you
about
think it's going to be
reaction.
about aliens? No. We hear about snakes. What?
No, and he's. I remember moments where he was on. He did Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
He was guest host on Saturday Night Live. You know how
huge.
big that is?
Huge.
He actually went on David Letterman.
Oh yeah.
He guest hosted on David Letterman as well.
I did not know that one.
Yeah, so
Oh.
he actually hosted a David Letterman show. He was at one point in the peak of his career in Hollywood. He was all over the place.
He was the it guy. I do remember at one point the.
Oh, Sorry, you just no. There's something else.
I will say the movie Road Trip, which
Yeah.
I thought was his first film. I remember a documentary on it, and the producers had said they'd seen Tom do his other stuff, and they said, we want him in the movie. He wasn't pertinent to the actual story. He was just like a side thing, and he's like freaking out with the little mouse
Yeah.
thing. But they were just like, he's funny, just write him apart, put him in the movie. He
Yeah.
didn't have to audition. They wrote extra scenes just so that Tom
Just so he
Green
could be in the
could
movie.
be in the movie.
Yeah.
That's how big he was.
Yeah.
And he was very funny in that movie.
That was wild, yeah, and that was pure Tom Green.
Yep.
And the fact that they wanted to add him in that way was fantastic.
Now-
I mean, this guy was doing everything.
Now he will. You will say at one point he kind of dropped off the mainstream radar. It slowed down. It happens to a lot of careers. But we saw him do his live stand-up when he was testing out new material for the specials that are currently on Prime, and he
Yeah.
actually talks about his life
In Hollywood, yeah.
in the later years
Yeah.
and what made him want to come back home here.
Here's again Tom Green, man. He's not even a stand-up comedian.
And he started doing stand-up, and you know what? We actually saw his show twice.
Yeah.
And freaking
Yeah.
hilarious.
But again, I heard he was on. Oh my God, I can't remember. It's probably on David Letterman, because David Letterman had this thing for a comedian that we absolutely adore that is no longer with us.
There's a
Norm
bunch
Macdonald.
Oh.
So Norm
Another great
Macdonald,
Canadian
folks,
act, yeah.
is from our area as well. So here's the setup. Once upon a time, Norm Macdonald was a stand-up comedian, and where he would play was locally. Young Tom Green would actually go see Norm Macdonald do stand-up at Yuck Yucks.
Yep.
So a lot of who the timing and the almost the ridiculous side of Tom Green was a bit of Norm, a little bit of David Letterman. So you have to imagine the trifecta that's happening there. You have Norm Macdonald that was absolutely adored by David Letterman.
Oh yeah.
Tom Green that did like us would not go to sleep at night till David Letterman was done, and David Letterman was playing. What time was David Letterman on TV, dude? So it was late.
Well, it depends. Because he had his first show late night with David
Yeah,
Letterman.
exactly. So that
And
was
then he
playing at
did
what,
the late
like
show.
at midnight or whatever. Anyways,
Yeah,
we don't know.
I think it was midnight.
It was
Because Carson
later.
was 11 to midnight, and Letterman was on after.
Yeah.
And
So
then Letterman
imagine-
went opposite Carson, so he was an hour earlier. But yeah, it was 11 p.m.
But he wasn't
or
even doing
midnight.
stand-up
Yeah.
back then. He was just interested in comedy and the beat of comedy and how
Yeah.
comedy worked. And he ended up taking all of that knowledge and again going to stand-up. Most people start with stand-up comedy and then create a career after. He did the exact opposite.
Yeah, he was already a TV star, and then he became a comedian.
But every show we went to see, right? He's funny. He kills
Hilarious.
it. He murders everybody.
The delivery's great. The material's great. It's off the beat, but you can still relate to it somehow, because a lot of it is just about his life experiences, but with the Tom twist to it.
But even you're talking about this dead period, like before we get to like even the shows that we went to see, back in the early 2000s, he was already on the internet. He had his own web show. Like he was doing interviews. He had built a set in his Hollywood Hills apartment, in the actual Hollywood Hills, not the Canadian version. But he had all these different guests.
So he's always been avant-garde.
Dude, you want it mind blown right now?
Blow my mind.
On that, like the YouTube didn't exist, right? It was pre-YouTube. Nobody was doing that kind of stuff. He had his own production company, and he was shooting out of his living room. Kind of like somebody else we know, right? But here's not the mind-blowing part.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, hold on. One of his guests on his show is literally the biggest YouTuber right now on the planet, Joe Rogan.
Really?
Yes. So Joe Rogan, before YouTube, before podcasts and all that fun stuff, he was actually...
It's plausible to say Tom influenced Joe Rogan.
That's what I'm saying. Because he's not only ahead of the curve, he makes the curve, man.
Yeah.
It's unreal throughout everything he does. And it's the stupid stuff he did, I was going to use other words, but the stupid stuff he used to do, when he was, because of his cancer, he was taken off, like he quit, right? It wasn't canceled, he quit MTV. Who replaced him with stupid shit that are huge?
Jackass.
Yes, literally. The Tom Green show was replaced by Jackass on MTV because he had cancer.
Yeah, people wanted their fill of the
old man value. On the cart.
Yeah.
That's Tom Green.
Yeah.
Who does it? In Jackass, they do the exact same thing. Yeah.
Nobody lets an old man shop anymore.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. Today, I am 90 years old.
Just go outside. Okay, please let go, please. Jeez, Louise! Jeez, Louise!
But it's Johnny Knoxville ripping off Tom Green. It's unreal. Like, if you go through all these different periods in time, Tom Green was always there. Always there.
I think bottom line, you can feel the love and respect here. Tom is a avant-garde. He's a pioneer. He always marched to the beat of his own drum and created something. And I'm just going to say it again, Tom. We would love to pick your brain. You started with your little talk show back at the Arts Court. We've got our own little Lazyboys YouTube.
And you know what?
This is, 30 years later. You're
talking about an influence, man. You're still influencing us.
You're still influencing us. And we would love to crack this open with you and just pick your brain and either reminisce or talk about future things.
Worst case scenario, don't even talk to us and just have a drink with us.
You just sit in the background and drink while we talk.
Man,
that would be a total Tom thing to do, right?
What's the name of his dog again? Oh my God.
Oh, I forget. But yeah, he's got a faithful dog. Oh, what's the name? Dude, look it up. Dude,
yeah. Oh, I feel bad now. Anyways. I want to say Charlie. I don't know. You folks, know if I got it right. I think it's Charlie. Maybe. I don't know. I think maybe.
Anyway, I'm trying to remember the show. Are you saying the dog is welcome?
Yeah, for sure.
The dog is welcome.
I'm calling him Charlie for now. If it's not an actual name, we'll figure it out. But it's important to know that we're happy you're back and that your career is absolutely blowing up.
We salute you.
Unreal that you could have be as popular as you were home. You left home, went into a different country. They embraced you. You broke every rule. You created new ways of doing entertainment, television, podcast, YouTube, name it. You've been out there. And now, to wrap everything up, he's back home. He's living on a farm. And he has, you're just as big. You're doing all these. It's unbelievable how you were able to always recreate yourself. Now, and that to you, I would always respect that.
Total respect. And here's one
Right.
last thing. Everybody, but also Tom, please subscribe,
Yeah, specifically Tom.
like,
please
and share.
subscribe. Do that.
Tom, if you could share, and
that'd
we'd
be
appreciate
awesome. We'd
that.
appreciate that very much. So.
Anyway,
That'd be awesome, right?
we can't wait to see what new crazy
Yeah.
things you're going to do next, because we know it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be funny, and all the best. And we'll see you around the Hollywood Hills.
Folks, go binge watch on Prime everything that Tom has done, just to get a taste of what we just talked about, right? This is not a Tom Green show.
It's not the Green Tom show.
It's not the Green Tom show. It's a Tom Green review of his life and everything that he's accomplished and everything that we're grateful for, and how amazing that you were in your career and where you are right now.
Side note, I think Tom impressed so much that when we put up our glasses, we were about to cheers. Dude did the same thing.
Did you?
You see the background?
Yeah, same. You feel the
Production,
same
yeah.
way. Hell yeah.
Cheers,
So,
and
cheers
see you
to
next Thursday.
We'll see you next time.